So there's a guy named Brent Welder running in Kansas, and he is deeply progressive. He's a Justice Democrat. He's backed by the PCCC, that's Progressive Change Campaign Committee. He's backed by all the progressive groups. He's uncorrupted, doesn't take any corporate PAC money, and he happens to be a TYT member. He watches Old School every week. Okay, I'm not kidding. He wrote me an email. There he is. Brent joins us.
True.
Brent, I wanted to look. We're raising money for you because we believe in you, and I want to show people how they can do that in a second. But did you? So I talked about how you gave money for the building the studio campaign. But did you do both the studio campaign and the hiring the reporters?
Yes, I did. I gave what I was able to afford. I decided to go into labor law, representing working people instead of corporations. So, I don't make a ton of money as a lawyer, but we had a couple little girls. But I made 3 separate donations for the studio that I think amounted to $80. I went back and checked the other day, and then a couple donations mounting $40 to get investigative journalism. So thank you guys so much for being on the leading front of all this.
Yeah, I love that, man. So. Look, that you might get a good return on investment there, because for that $120, we're trying to get you $50,000.
Yes.
So I want to show people the thermometer before we talk more. tytkansas.com is where you can donate. tytkansas.com, and the reason we're trying to get $50,000 is so that Brent can have a field team. So Brent, can you explain to good folks at home, what is a field team? What do you do with it? Why do you need this money?
So before I went to law school, my background is actually as a grassroots organizer. In fact, I met my wife 15 years ago when we were up in Iowa as grassroots organizers, and did that throughout my career before law school. And what we're doing is we are building the biggest grassroots organization in the country. That's what we need your help with. We can do it. I've actually been a GOTV director on a congressional campaign for the first Iraq war veteran elected to Congress. And we put together the biggest volunteer operation in the country there. And we beat a Republican in a 60% Republican registered district. And we had 2,500 volunteers on election day. And we won by 2,500 votes, 1 vote per volunteer. And I'll guarantee you, if I'm doing it for someone else, when my name is on the ballot, I'm going to make darn sure that we run the biggest operation possible. The only way we're going to be able to do it is because of your help funding this field program. So thank you so much for what you're doing on this.
So now, tytkansas.com. I'm going to keep on saying it throughout the night. We got to get to 50,000 because warriors beat mercenaries. So Brent's warriors that he'll be able to get with this money will beat the mercenaries for Yoder. I want to talk about Yoder in a second, your opponent, because he is particularly loathsome. There's a stat in there that shocked me, that I was amazed by. But can I see tytkansas.com? Can we see where we are? We got to get to $50,000, so we'll check in on that. Okay, almost there. By the way, 929 people have donated so far. So I mean, that's going to lead into the Yoder stat in a second. But can I see 1,000 people donating? It doesn't matter what you donate, but can I see 1,000 people donating by the end of the interview?
If I can jump in on that, I broke the record in this district for most donations by a challenger ever in the year before the election last year, and that was 2,000 donations. Now, through TYT, we have almost 1,000 donations just in the last 4 days alone. To just kind of give you an example of the enormity of what we're accomplishing here.
Yeah, that's amazing. So now I want to give Yoder as a comparison here. So he raised $512,000 in the fourth quarter of 2017. So he raised a lot of money. He's going to have more money than you. And they say, well, that's because the people of Kansas really like him. The problem is the Kansas City paper researched it and realized it ain't the people of Kansas City. Do you know, I love this stat. People giving less than $200 to Yoder, you know how much that amounted to? $489.
Wow.
$489 out of $512,000.
That's like 1,000 donors, right?
We've raised more money in the last hour through your TYT thermometer and small dollar donations than Kevin Yoder raised in the last 3 months of 2017 from small dollar donations.
Oh, that's so amazing. Think about that, guys. Look, we'll raise more. Can we raise more in the next 5 minutes from small dollar donations than Kevin Yoder did in all the fourth quarter as he raised $500,000 from all those corporations? Let me see the thermometer one more time. tytkansas.com. Have I mentioned TYTKansas.com? Okay, so it's 23,785. I'm not good at math. Let's round up and say $500. So we got to get to $24,285 to get to $500 by the end of the year. That's not much, okay? So we can outraise Kevin Yoder in the next 5 minutes in small dollar donations.
So, can I also mention, we have an amazing volunteer operation going right now. We had our office here filled with volunteers tonight. And I went around and I always talk to them every single time to thank them. And the same thing happened tonight that happens, I swear, every single time. When I meet them, at least half of our actual volunteers in our office here in Kansas City, Kansas, came to our campaign because of TYT and Justice Democrats. It's unbelievable. There were two 65-year-olds in here tonight that came to us from the TYT Army.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so Brent. The conventional wisdom was that, yeah, that's all good and fine, but you can't beat Yoder. He's got too much money, and he's too entrenched, and he's an incumbent. So can you tell me the results of the last poll in your district, and we'll find out how far down you are to Yoder.
There was a poll conducted last week. Now, let me mention too, since Yoder's been in office, I don't believe there's been a poll of any Democrat beating him by any margin. I think they always have been losing in every poll. But there was a poll that just came out a few days ago, public policy polling, an independent poll that has us beating Kevin Yoder by 7 points here in Kansas.
Wow.
It's the largest margin that I know of any Democratic challenger in the country against an incumbent Republican. And we're doing it by, the crazy idea of actually taking policies that work for people, that work for the middle class, that work for hardworking people, and going out and making the case on it to the people, and doing that both by me going around knocking doors, talking to people around the district, and having a huge grassroots army of volunteers going door to door for the last 6 months. And we're going to be able to ramp up this operation. We're actually getting ready to open another office because of the donations that TYT Army is giving. We're getting ready to hire more staff, and I promise you, are going to be able to run the biggest grassroots organization of any congressional campaign in the entire country if the TYT Army continues to step up the way you have over the last 4 days.
You know what? Can I ask a question? This is Jimmy Dore. It's good to talk with you. And
Jimmy, I love you, and I love the aggressive progressives, and I watch that as well as old school. And I'm sorry, but let me give a shout out to the guys with the Friday post game show who always say there's only 19 people watching. Well, I'm one of those 19 people.
Wow, this dude watches Malcolm Fleischner. That's unbelievable.
That's loyalty.
We have Steve-O. By the way, both of whom have donated to my campaign. I get an email every time someone donates. So thank you to Malcolm and Steve-O as well. But sorry, go ahead, Jimmy. I love you.
Okay, no, my question was, you're leading in polling right now, and how much do you think that the people of Kansas, they've gotten a good look at what right-wing conservatism economic policies look like, right? So they've been instituting them on steroids, right? So the Koch brothers kind of took over the state legislature. You got an unbelievably right-wing governor so they've been closing hospitals and schools, and they've really unfunded the government there. And how much do you think that that's making a dent in how well you're doing?
It certainly doesn't hurt. Donald Trump and people like my opponent, Kevin Yoder, are nationalizing. They call it a failed experiment. I think that's putting it extremely nicely. It's a tax program that gives money to giant corporations and billionaires. And the way they pay for it is raising taxes on poor people and raising taxes on the middle class. It's completely insane, completely irresponsible. Frankly, it's completely immoral. And the people of Kansas know it better than anybody, and they are sick and tired of it. And honestly, that is why we are beating Kevin Yoder in the polls. Now, the thing is, we're not going to rest on our laurels. He has a big fundraising margin over me, but we're closing that gap every single day. We need these volunteers. We need thousands of people out on the streets. The way we're going to do it is with your guys' help, and people are really catching on to what's going on. Now, the thing is, don't worry. The Republicans, they're going to do their vicious attacks. But when we have regular people everywhere blanketing the district because of your help, it's going to make just all the difference in the world.
So I'm gonna say one more thing about the district that's really important, and I think is going to energize people. But I just noticed your pin.
Now, do you want to know where I got this actually?
Yeah.
So I was a delegate for Bernie Sanders in Philadelphia at the National Convention. I was also, he had nominated me to the Democratic Platform Committee. And Cenk, you and Anna and John and JR held a meet and greet in Philadelphia. And the first thing I did when I got into town is I came over to the meet and greet, met all of you, and I bought myself a bag full of buttons, and this is one of them.
Yeah, look, the day I get to call you Congressman Welder is gonna be one of the best days of my life. Listen, this district is enormously winnable. It voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary, and it voted for Hillary Clinton in the general election. It's one of 5 districts in the country that is that way. So the fact that you're a Bernie Sanders delegate is enormously helpful. People misunderstand Kansas. They certainly misunderstand your district. And given the makeup of your district, it is an absolute shame that a corporate robot like Kevin Yoder is the incumbent there. I mean, his donors include, of course, the big banks, pharmaceutical companies, Koch Industries, of course, and what is he in the top 10 NRA takers and #1 for payday lenders? Is that right?
#1, he has taken more money from the payday loan sharks than any member of Congress, and that is in the House or the U.S. Senate.
Wow, he got more bought than a senator. That takes hard work.
It really does. It takes a lot of corruption is what it takes.
Yeah, I read an article that he's a hard campaigner. I think by that they mean like he really knows how to suck up to corporations.
Yes. When we have the Koch brothers here in Kansas too, and man, he loves taking that Koch brother money. I'll tell you that much.
So let's check in with tytkansas.com. Let's do a refresh here. See where we are.
Whoa!
Nice.
We already passed it. Sorry.
61 donors.
So first of all, we almost already hit 1,000 donors. So bless your hearts. Number 2, we were trying to get to 24,285 to pass Kevin Yoder's small dollar donations in the 4th quarter. Already passed it. 24,555. So we just have to go a little longer. 10 more donations and we'll hit the 1,000. It's amazing, man. So Brent. Another refresh. Sorry, 1,046 donors.
Jeez.
And Brent already had 2,000 small donors. Now he has 3,000 small donors, thanks to the TYT Army. We're going to get to that $50,000 because we need that field team. Those volunteers will win this election. I want everybody that's watching to picture Brent taking the oath of office and think about how great it would be to have a progressive fighter that you know that you can trust, that doesn't take corporate PAC money, that's gonna fight for us in Congress. So Brent, Godspeed to you, brother.
Hey, thank you. Good luck to my fellow Justice Democrat, Brianna Westbrook tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Cenk, Anna, John, Jimmy. Thank you, TYT Army. We don't take corporate PAC money. The only way we're able to have success in this race is by people coming together across our district, across our state, and across their country. And you are the reason that we have a platform to do that. You guys are doing the best work of anyone in the country. I thank you so much. Anything you guys ever need, anytime you ever want to have me on, please bring me on, and we'll continue. And I want to tell you this: I promise you that when I am in Congress, I will do everything I possibly can every single day to fight like mad to bring a voice to all the people out there that do not have a voice in Washington. We're going to do great things together, and you guys are such a big part of this, so thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Brent. We appreciate it. Everybody, go and volunteer too, okay? Go to Brent's website. If you're watching this later, we'll have the links down below, brentwelder.com. So go get them, man, and tytkansas.com.